The Xbox 2024 Gaming Showcase. This is gonna be the most focused and saddest thing that you have ever seen in your life. I think this could potentially even destroy Xbox.
It is that time of year, ladies and gentlemen, Xbox Game Showcase 2024. This is the ultimate predictions video. I hope you're ready because I think Xbox has a lot loaded in the chamber that they're about to unleash with this summer showcase. I don't mean to create too much hype, but look, Xbox can do a lot wrong, but their summer showcases for the last 2 years, in my opinion, have slapped. In particular,
you know what's the saddest part about that? I think he's not lying. I think he's just too lost in the sauce.
Last year, 2023 Game Showcase was one of the best ever showcases I saw because I felt it answered the bell perfectly to what I was looking for as an Xbox fan. Give me Japanese game support. Oh, Maddie, we got Persona 3 Reload. Day 1 on Game Pass. Beautiful. Give me looks at upcoming exclusives.
Day 1 on Game Pass. Oh my god, that's such value. Better go buy an Xbox right now.
Oh, here's a 45-minute Starfield Developer Direct. Perfect. Wait, I want to see what others...
Yeah. I want to hear a purple-haired loser with 15 pins on his front talk about how great Starfield is. What's next? We're going to hear the guy who wrote the story tell about how genius he is for writing it and how that no one else understands his genius is just stupid. Oh, please.
Studios are working on in the future. Here's South of Midnight. Here's Fable. Here's Clockwork Revolution. Thank you. It was, to me, the perfect answer to everything I was looking for from Xbox. And I feel this year, they're set up once more to deliver. There's a lot of questions I feel they need to answer. So let's open up with that. Hardware. Will Xbox remain committed? They've said as much. But also...
no one cares about the hardware of PlayStation, Xbox, or honestly anyone at this point, okay? Even the newest Xbox that's coming out probably in like 2 or 3 years, same with PlayStation, is gonna be at least 7 years behind what PC was capable at 5 years ago. So the hardware improvements don't mean anything.
Has gone on record of promising hardware in the future as soon as the end of this year. So the question is this: is it an Xbox handheld? Is there going to be any confirmation of next generation Xbox news? My prediction, and I'll start off with a bold one, is I do think we lay eyes on this Xbox handheld. I don't know if it comes out at the end of this year, but I do think Xbox needs to commit to hardware on the biggest stage imaginable, because while they've said as much in interviews, I don't think that's enough.
Imagine playing non-existent Xbox games on a handheld. That is gonna be exciting.
Is believing, and I think for a lot of people who are wavering a bit on what Xbox is doing moving into the future, committing to hardware on this stage would be a phenomenal move. Not only that, but let's say they do announce it.
I think I speak for most people when I say we're more interested in actual games, because, you know, first you need games, then you can talk about hardware and whatnot.
An Xbox handheld. You have the Call of Duty Black Ops 6 Developer Direct right after. Something that could be easily used to push this handheld alongside it. Play Black Ops 6 on the X-Boy handheld, right? Like, it seems like a marketer's wet dream at the end of the day. So I do think Xbox is going to commit to hardware plans. I don't think they're going to talk about next generation details, but I do believe they will finally pull the trigger on the long rumored Xbox handheld. Here's hoping, because I mean, you can't really see, it's a little bit off camera, but I got like 4 different handhelds to my right. I'm obsessed with these things, and Xbox, I would love nothing more than for y'all who do great work with like cloud gaming to have a native handheld.
I think if you have a handheld, you have failed in life, honestly. Listen, we already spend too much time on our PCs. And I understand that previously when we were younger, yeah, we tried to optimize how we can spend more time at the PCs playing games and all of that stuff when we were younger. But nowadays we need to optimize the other way around. How can we spend less time at PCs? Listen, my phone can't even handle phone games. I have never even downloaded a phone game, okay? I literally do not use my phone for anything other than reading and Sudoku. That's it. I will never use my phone for anything else. I will never buy a handheld because I'm already spending a lot of time on the PC. I don't want to be one of those inbreds who goes on the bus or goes on somewhere on a plane and then instantaneously just starts using their handheld. I think we should have the lawful possibility of just pulling it out and blasting their brains to smithereens if people like that exist. Okay, it's getting too much. Stop. Better your life, better yourself. Read a fucking book, okay?
Handheld, so here's hoping. The other rumor that's been kind of floating around is backwards compatibility. Jez Corden, Special Nick have suggested that Xbox 360 era JRPGs are coming back. I imagine...
Didn't they say that backwards compatibility is not going to be a thing that they're ever going to do? Huh.
This will likely be Blue Dragon.
If this is true, this screams desperation at its finest.
I've talked a lot about how I hope it's Lost Odyssey, but nonetheless, back compat will come back online. With Activision Blizzard in the mix, there's been a lot of hopes and desire, but will it actually materialize during this showcase? I really hope so. Something that Sarah Bonds talked extensively about is how there's this new game preservation program within Xbox. And I hope this indicates that they'll go back and make older Xbox 360 titles streamable, make them more playable on the hardware, no matter where you're at, whether it's Xbox One, Series X, Series S, future generations. I do hope that's what it means. What it sort of sounded like was that moving forward, games like Series X and S are going to move into the next generation with Xbox, which was the expectation anyway, but it seemed like they were reaffirming it. But I would love to see that back catalog of Activision Blizzard titles, the more random ones that people don't talk about, things like Singularity, the Marvel games, things like Transformers, licensed products. Like Activision has a treasure trove of games that could be dumped into Game Pass, and I would love to see back compat come back online one last time.
Oh man, I don't think they want to dump so much stuff into Game Pass. That's first of all. They want the good stuff on Game Pass, not just a bunch of random shit on Game Pass. And then they want to be selective because Xbox still wants you to have a Game Pass, but to buy games for full price anyway. So that's the real deal, okay?
Now that they own these games, work with the license holders and get this thing going. Hasbro's gone on record as early as last year saying that they were willing to get the Transformers games online. So let's hope that they get the deal done.
Hasbro is so desperate they're willing to do absolutely anything if it involves them even making a single cent out of it at this point.
Here, I am thinking that back compat, I'm 50-50, but you know what? I'm an optimist at heart, so I'm going to say, let's...
Fun fact, if you don't know about Hasbro, they made their CEO a literal woman who sold Marlboro cigarettes. Not even actually joking. She worked at Marlboro and she sold cigarettes. Then she started heading Hasbro, and you know she didn't even know what she's selling. Then she did a completely asinine job, tanked the stock price, and then you know what happened? She went off to be the CEO of an even bigger company. God, I love life.
Do it. Back compat comes back in a small way. Okay, that's enough bold predictions for now. Let's do some safe things here. Obvious ones.
Oh, and the other people at Hasbro are pretty much just saying stories about how they're pissed that they go to cocktail parties and they say, I'm a big shot at Hasbro, and no one knows what that is, and that's why they need to make Hasbro more important. I wish I was making that up, but that's legitimately what's happening. That is legitimately the life we are living, okay? See, this is why I respect Bobby Kotick. Bobby was a G. He knew what's up. He knew how to steer the ship. Now look at Blizzard. They can't figure out what kind of pronouns to use for their games even. Jesus.
Obvious things that are going to show up. This is just a bit of a rapid fire segment to get some of the clear stuff out of the way before we get into individual studios and dive deep. So we have games like Indiana Jones. I think we're getting a
woke, complete garbage nonsense shit. You're not even going to be playing as Indiana Jones half the part. You're going to be playing as Phoebe Waller-Bridge, the young, strong, real Indiana Jones that need no man. This is one of the wokest games ever, and if you watch the trailer for it and you look at the gameplay, it's garbage. You use a whip attack, what happens? Well, you hit their pinky, right? Toe pinky, well, what's it called? I don't know. And anyways, you know what happens? You pull them over by the hand. This Indiana Jones game is gonna be as trash and woke as they come. Beautiful. And again, this is the whole Xbox lineup.
release date for that, no doubt. We're hearing that it's going to be December. I think it's going to be that. Xbox is slated to have a really stacked holiday season. Avowed. I've gone on record.
Avowed, though, is one of the things I am excited for. There are two things that look good for Xbox. A whole whopping two things. Yes, I know. What a time to be alive. And Avowed is one of them. Avowed could be good. Now, Avowed does have some questionable things about it. I have made multiple Avowed videos, looked into it. Overall, I think it could be a success. I think it could be good. This is an actual, you know, role-playing game that you wish that Bethesda made, but thankfully they didn't. So, Avowed does have potential.
Record of saying I think Avowed's going to get delayed, but right now the reports are that it's shaping up to look really good compared to what we last saw. And if that is the case, then I will happily backtrack those claims. Right now, I'm going to stick and say Avowed will come out this year. And I think it's going to, as rumored, come out in November. And so we're definitely going to see that at the showcase. Every Xbox game showcase always has some sort of live service segment. So I think this is where you're going to see things like Sea of Thieves once more. I do think Fallout 76 is going to make the rare appearance here.
76 is a pile of trash, everyone knows it. Even the TV show Success didn't save it.
With how high Fallout 76 has gone, I don't know.
No, literally, this game is still almost as bad as it was at the launch. Yeah, I have played this game. Again, I download it every year, play it. This time I lasted 30 minutes before I was like, I'm fucking done, I'm deleting this garbage. The enemies don't scale to your level properly. The guns are boring. The glitches. There's still so many bugs in this game. Your ammo disappears, reappears at random. There's so many unbelievable glitches in this game, and it's just bad in general.
If there will be anything else Fallout related ready for an announcement, we'll talk about that a little bit later. So I'm thinking that Fallout 76 gets the look here.
This, by the way, encounter, they kind of make it almost look cool, but this is in reality one of the absolutely most boring encounters in the whole game. It has a lot of HP. This is a squad speed, by the way. It has a lot of HP. You shoot it a lot, maybe it dies. It is boring. It is a completely dreadful encounter. It is just so sad and boring. It flies all over the place. Sometimes you can't even see it because of the foliage is bad. Then it just goes somewhere away and you can't find. It's so bad. The whole encounter is just absolute trash.
And maybe they spotlight upcoming content because, again, with the new map expansion, it looks...
When it shoots you with the ring thing, you can't see anything.
Really good, and maybe they tease more that's on the way. Forza Motorsport DLC feels like it should be a shoo-in, but never really a guarantee. That game's been kind of quiet since its launch in October. There are other...
It's Forza Motorsport, no one cares.
Obvious ones that were leaked, like Doom: The Dark Ages, unfortunately leaked. This is from...
And Doom is the second thing. Well, Doom is most likely... I'm 99% sure Doom is gonna be good. But, yeah, I mean, it's Doom, right? I really doubt that they can input enough diversity, equity, and inclusion to make it ruin Doom.
In software, so you're definitely going to see this one at the show, and I personally can't wait because I love Doom Eternal, I love Doom 2016, and to get a little more Doom in a prequel status is very exciting, especially when it's medieval focused, so I'm very pumped for that. There's also games like Towerborn, Our History Untold.
No idea what this is, but it looks bad. This looks like some kind of browser game from the early 2000s.
Stalker 2 replaced Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024. These are previously announced, previously shown off games partnered with Xbox, and I feel they could find a home here in the showcase. The real question is, what games may flock to Summer Games Fest? What games may stick on the Xbox Showcase board? It's hard to say. I do think games like Replaced will return to the Xbox Showcase, where maybe ones like Towerborn go find a broader...
Oh, come on, show the big stuff. Show us the big, hilarious stuff.
...audience over on the Summer Games Fest stage.
He hasn't even shown Fable or anything, like, Jesus, and Fable's gonna be one more folk disaster.
So yeah, those are some obvious ones out of the way. Let's get into more bold predictions here. The Initiative. Now, I have to admit, this one actually really isn't that bold because Jeff Grubb and a number of insiders have suggested that Perfect Dark is starting to shape up a little bit.
This thing. I have no idea what this is supposed to be, but judging from the trailer, it's gonna be like, what the fuck?
It doesn't seem like the situation is as bad as it once was. So there is a chance Perfect Dark shows up, and this is where I think leakers kind of spoiled the surprise, because if I didn't have that information put out on the internet, I would have sat here and had my prediction be a firm no. We have no idea what's going on with the initiative. But since
you can already tell by the silhouette, but it's gonna be great. You can already tell by the silhouette. It's gonna be amazing. It's exactly what you think it's gonna be. Again, the PlayStation Showcase wins because it has a whopping 3 good games that, well, potentially could be good. 2 of them are probably gonna be 100% good. But, you know, they have 3 in whole potential. But at least their other games, even if some of them are trash, all of Xbox's games are trash and / fucking Vogue disasters. At least PS doesn't have Vogue disasters. I mean, look at this. Judge a book by its cover, always, because the cover is never wrong.
we're starting to hear rumors of it, it got this galaxy brain idea in my head of, you know, it would be a perfect way to open this show. It's kind of what I talked about with hardware. I think
a woman with you know, cat and hairstyle.
Xbox is
looking in the distance because it's fucking deep.
Mission statement for this showcase should be, let's address insecurities. So go after.
That sounds like an extremely dumb mission statement. What's it good at this?
Hardware, and go after games that have been gone for a while, like you kind of did last year, and let us know what's happening with them. I think now it's extremely important to step ahead a little bit. State of Decay 3. Show them off. Show what they've been up to. I think they should be ready for a reveal at this point in time. And I don't know about Perfect Dark per se, but at least State of Decay 3.
Man, you just got it. It's like in the new Star Wars show Acolyte. There's no white men. In Xbox, well, the same thing. There's white men don't exist. It's like beautiful. Another one. Beautiful.
Ready for a reveal at this point in time. And I don't know about Perfect Dark per se, but at least State of Decay 3, I'm hoping would be a 2020.
I mean, like, shoot it or something.
5 title. But nonetheless, I am predicting that Perfect Dark will open the show. Why do I say that? Because I think that would be, for the people who are not tapped into leaks and rumors, the biggest wow moment. Oh my God, the game that we heard so many horrible things about is here. And if it looks good, oh, it's going to shut a lot of people up. And that's why I think they opened with Fable last year.
Wait, what?
Because all these rumors surrounding the game were engulfing it, and it showed out so well that people thought it was a CG trailer when it was actually gameplay.
Who the hell was happy about Fable? Fable looked like a dumpster fire. You have the most ugliest... The Fable character is a literal insert of a fat woman who's working at the company. Who the hell is looking at Fable and saying, wow, that looks really good? No, people are horrified. Fable looks like a dumpster fire of Vogue shenanigans. The giant is some kind of Vogue black dude who's telling you, all giants are not the same. Oh my God, this is gonna be pitiful. And you're telling me that's somehow magically a success?
Games like State of Decay 3 also fall in that same bucket as Perfect Dark. Oh, this thing is, you know, apparently studio troubles. Oh, it's looking horrible. Show up, show out, and really deliver something here.
Oh yeah, that's gonna fucking fly in a
that
crossbow.
Will impress people and make them forget about all the negative reports surrounding the game. I think.
Oh, just stop! Just stop! All of this is so pathetic.
They're very capable of that. So I think Perfect Dark opens the show, and State of Decay 3 probably follows it straight up. All right, Bethesda Game Studios, my favorites. All right, Starfield is guaranteed. We already know we're gonna get a look at the DLC.
I am excited, but not because the DLC is gonna be good. The DLC is probably going to be worse than the fucking main game. Because now they're going to explore House Varun. And the only reason why House Varun was interesting is because Bethesda didn't tell you anything about it. It was just House Varun, and then your imagination can go run wild. But now Bethesda is going to give you the full rundown what it is and ruin it. Well, exactly how they ruin everything else, honestly.
We'll see during the Summer Games Showcase, so I'm looking forward to that.
Oh, also, I'll give you the quick rundown of the Starfield lore. So this is not exactly it, but there's these things called terror morphs. They're really dangerous. And the reason why they're running rampant in the galaxy is because, well, that's just a part of the story. That's like one of the big three things in the story, the terror morph storyline. I'm just going to explain to you how great Starfield is in case you haven't actually seen the greatness of Starfield. So there's these terror morph things. They're really dangerous. They can destroy whole colonies of people and whatnot. And, well, you see, the reason that they are running wild is because humans killed their natural predators, giant, slow-moving giraffes. Now, terror mobs are fast, can climb vertically, and do a lot of strange stuff, you know? But their natural predators are giant, slow-moving giraffes that humans killed. Yeah. That's essentially the story of the Terrormorphs. And then you have the ability of either creating a bioweapon that kills all the Terrormorphs, or bringing back the slow-moving giraffes that some magically how are capable of killing the Terrormorphs. Well, the Terrormorph can just, slowly walk away from them because it's still faster that way. It's great. It's great.
Showcase, so I'm looking forward to that. I'm very curious what's going to happen with Shattered Space and if they're going to stick to their September announcement date with more and more games, presumably.
I hope they do, because Shattered Space is gonna be so bad because it's written by the same dude. Okay, it's written by the same idiot who went on a Twitter rant about how great he is as a writer, and the fact that no one thinks Starfield's story is amazing is just proof that he's a god.
Being announced there, maybe they delayed or moved their date, something along those lines. But we also have Fallout, the big elephant in the room. I feel very confident it's happening. I do.
What?
I think the stars have aligned. The situation is very clear. And while part of me is very upset
oh boy, is he saying we're getting finally Fallout 5? Oof.
that this should have been started earlier, I'm getting the inkling, we'll say.
I'm not gonna lie, if Fallout is made by Bethesda, it's gonna be a disaster. I don't need to see a trailer, I don't need to see anything. Everything Bethesda has touched in the past 15 years has turned to a pile of trash.
That maybe it'll be a little bit further down the line. Same potentially with Oblivion Remake. You look at the FTC document and
The Oblivion remake is going to be a disaster. Not because it's going to be woke. No, the Oblivion is not going to be woke at all, most likely. Well, they're probably going to touch up on something for modern audiences, as they always do. But no one wants Oblivion remake, okay? Oblivion, Morrowind, all of that jazz is just something that is supposed to be a fond memory of you because you played it as a kid. I played Morrowind, but I would never want Morrowind remade because in the modern sense, those games are just complete ass. They don't hold up. People who want to play them, sure. People who want to relive that memory, sure. But in general, no new player wants to deal with that, okay? No new player is gonna want to swing their sword randomly at enemy and see invisible sword dice being thrown, and then he doesn't understand why he can't kill a fucking rat. It's just not gonna translate well. It's gonna be a disaster if they do it.
Pretty much everything that's there had a 2-year gap, right? So whatever was slated for 2020 was actually coming out in 2022, and so on. And so when you look at certain things like Fallout Remaster coming in 2024, many people thought that aligned to maybe dropping next year. I think this is a game that maybe is actually coming in 2026. And I'm just trying to be realistic with my predictions here. I want it more than anybody on the internet. I saw one of the comments said, like, Maddie will be in a straitjacket if it doesn't happen. And that's a fair assessment. Like, it is. It's just, yeah, like, I'm obsessed, man. I want more Fallout. We all do. But I think we have to pull ourselves a little bit out of the situation, take an honest look and say, hey, the Fallout TV show just came out in April. There's no way they can just whip up something real quick unless they want to do a balls to the wall.
Did he just imply that the same people that make the games are the same people that make the TV show? Really? That's stupid.
JPEG level announcement of, hey, we're doing New Vegas too. If Xbox wants to hit a home run among home runs, if they just want to fuck around and find out and be like, hey, let's just like put out the biggest announcement of the summer, they can do that. They could do that if they iron out that deal. I would.
Now, to be fair, Fallout would be a huge announcement, and I would even be excited. But again, after Starfield, people who have been long-time Bethesda super fans are looking at Elder Scrolls and currently thinking, so it's gonna be made by the same people who made Starfield. It's gonna be written by the same people who made Starfield, and it's gonna be on the same engine as Skyrim. Yeah, maybe Elder Scrolls 6 isn't gonna be good, and maybe I should, not have expectations. That is unironically what a lot of people are thinking.
I wouldn't hate a pre-announcement of a new Fallout project into the future. I think this would be a pretty good time to do so. The interest in the IP is at an all-time high, and you kind of put yourself in I would say Elden Ring.
It is interest. Yeah, it's true. The interest in the IP is at all-time high. True. Again, true. But it's tourists. For example, when I watched the show and it's a 5 out of 10, and I talked all about all of the fucking things that are just making the show horrible. You know what happened? 50% people downvoted, 50% up. Literally 50%. And as time passed, like 1 week passed after the show aired, and if I made a negative video about it, guess what? 60% upvotes, and now it's 70, 80, and 90% upvotes on negative videos. Why? Because the tourists are gone. The tourists that literally don't know what Fallout is, who don't care what Fallout is, are gone. And the people who have rewatched Fallout now that the wow moments that are pretty bad in my opinion for the most part are gone, and now they actually need to engage with the plot and think about what's happening in front of themselves. A lot of people who have watched the Fallout TV show for a second time, while saying the first time when they watched it was good, they liked it, are now saying, yeah, I kind of actually don't like it anymore. It has a beyond reasonable amount of plot holes.
Situation where you reveal and you go away for a while. And I know a lot of people say that's like the bane of Xbox's existence, and I totally get it with games like I just talked about Perfect Dark and State of Decay 3. Like, where is this game? Where is this game? And you build that up and you build that up. I get all of that. But I think for Xbox, they could have themselves a situation similar to Cyberpunk, similar to Elden Ring, where the disappearance benefits them greatly because it's so highly desired, New Vegas 2. So am I thinking it's going to happen this year? Probably not. I think maybe they're steering away from announcements that aren't going to materialize for like half a decade. But at the same time, I also think games like Fallout 3 Remaster, give it a year. Next year, I'll be there saying a blind squirrel finds a nut, and hey, it's going to happen this year. But for real, I'm saying this year, I don't think we get the Fallout 3 Remaster. I think maybe Oblivion Remake, though. I think Oblivion Remake is going to serve sort of as the template. You're going to look at that and go, okay, I get it.
Boy.
This is what a remaster or remake or whatever it ends up being from Bethesda Game Studios looks like, and then you'll get Fallout 3 the following year, and then maybe they'll continue the trend with other games, maybe more.
Fallout 3 is not the best Fallout game. It's New Vegas 4 and then 3. I don't know why would you remake 3 instead of New Vegas, to be honest. I have no idea. Well, I do, because it's Todd Howard's game. Fallout 3 was Todd Howard's magnus opus. That was his peak as a creator, if you do not know. So, obviously, Todd Howard fucking hates New Vegas because it, took the spotlight away from 3, and this is why 3 is getting remade first, because Todd Howard loves his baby so much.
Morrowind gets that look, which would be amazing if you ask me. But yeah, this is a little more of a complicated one for me because I'm going against my heart and using my brain here, but I don't think Fallout will be here. Starfield will definitely be here, and maybe Oblivion. Next up is the Coalition, Gears of War. This one's been rumored for a while. I think Gears 6 is pretty much a
There is no way they don't throw in Gears of War.
lock-in. I wouldn't say
There is no way. There is no way they don't throw in Gears of War.
it's fully obvious, but I think the less obvious one is a Gears remaster.
Also, wasn't the last Gears of War that got released kind of like fucking shit? I don't remember anyone talking about it.
Collection. I don't know if it's going to be...
I think Gears of War drops in the same boat as games like Dishonored. The first one was great. Everyone loves it, right? Because it's good. The story's interesting, the gameplay is good. And then 2 comes along and it completely is just a bunch of saggy tits. And no one likes it.
Gears 1 through 3 or the entire series of Gears 1 through 5 alongside things like Judgment. I think that would be phenomenal. And I think Gears of War, when you really look at it as a series during the Xbox 360 generation, deserves its own Master Chief Collection, and it has for a while. I fully believe that rumors just made this thing materialize, because I'm sure Xbox wasn't thinking about it, but so many people said, this makes sense, please do it. And when you look at Gears 6 coming up the pipe, it probably needs a nice recap, a nice place for people to go, just like with Halo Infinite. Like, hey, you didn't like Infinite or you didn't like 5, no problem. Go on over to Master Chief Collection. We got the whole original trilogy there for you. And same thing here with Gears. I think it just needs that same treatment of, hey, you don't like where we're going in this new direction? We have this old thing for you and it'll forever be there. And all of your favorites have been remastered, because it's just in a weird spot. You have Gears of 1 Ultimate Edition, and then Gears 2 and 3 are back and back. Like, it just, the situation clearly begs for putting the rest of these into a collection, remastering them. Gears 4 and 5 still look great and back compat, so I don't think you need to do much to those, but really touching up Gears 2 and 3 should be the focus here. Gears 1 Ultimate Edition, I just played it recently, looks great. So I think Gears will be here in a massive way, and I would say that...
I don't know. Also, is it not past the time of Gears of War? I mean, Call of Duty survived. Even, you know, other stuff like Battlefield survived technically, even though at a diminished state. But Gears of Halo survived, and now it's killing itself faster. Oh wait, that's also an Xbox thing. Nice. Anyway, Gears of War is also a kind of thing that they can try to milk for nostalgia, but I mean, is it gonna work? No.
Gears 6 would be a pretty good show closer, in my opinion. Obsidian Entertainment. We already talked a bit about Avowed. I'm going to turn my attention to the Outer Worlds 2 and say, don't write this one off. I think Outer Worlds 2 has a pretty good chance of showing.
I mean, the Outer Worlds wasn't that bad, but it wasn't that good. Also, it was the safest thing on the planet. It didn't risk anything, and you know that kind of ruined it.
This thing started pre-production right after the Outer Worlds 1. Like, it was that much of a success immediately. And while I know a lot of time and attention has been spent on Avowed, a lot of that time was spent retooling what the game was, right? Originally, Avowed is confirmed.
Okay, wait, I actually didn't even know about this, but yeah, the Outer Worlds 2 could at least be kind of a success story, right? Maybe. I don't know, not holding too high hopes for this, but you know, this like gives Xbox 2.5 games now. Wow, they're moving up in the world, boys. What a time to be alive.
Surrounding the business side of Xbox, but when you look, they had a project they were working on during Psychonauts 2 that they had to stop.
Oh, so
I feel like they've been...
Is this the one where you're a doll?
Due for an announcement for... No, I thought they were going to be at the showcase last year, so I'm going to predict them again.
I'm not sure, but it looks like niche shit, so onward we go, I guess.
I think it's time. Not going to be that, but man, Psychonauts 2 really swept me off my feet. What a phenomenal game if you haven't played it yet. ZeniMax Online is up next. We know they are working on the Elder Scrolls Online. They just released Golden Road.
The Elder Scrolls Online is a shit travesty against humanity. It's really bad. Like, to tell you how bad Elder Scrolls Online is, the player base that plays it, more than 50% admit that Elder Scrolls Online is just a money grab. That it's not the best game ever. And I'm, by the way, proud of these people because, again, people are afraid to admit that they play slop. I mean, I fucking play slop also. Again, I download 76 once a year and, you know, then quit it in 30 minutes. You know, and that's not even the best example of slop that I play. But, you know, if I play a bad game and I enjoy it, I still can easily say, hey, fuck it, this is a shit game, but I enjoy it anyway because maybe currently nothing's happening. And that's understandable. And I like the Elder Scrolls community in the sense that they're completely fine admitting that, you know, Elder Scrolls Online is just a ginormous money-grabbing pit that kind of like, you know, takes full advantage of their players and produces slop. Like, one of the biggest updates recently that Elder Scrolls Online has had is that they stole Torghast from World of Warcraft. Yeah, imagine fucking that. Elder Scrolls Online big update is that they steal from World of Warcraft's first expansion, first mechanic. That's how much people hated Torghast, and the Elder Scrolls Online are like, ah, here's Torghast, I hope you enjoy. Just the delusion at its finest.
This is the 10-year anniversary for Elder Scrolls Online. It's probably a good time to set up an announcement that's very reflective, like, hey, we've been doing the same thing for 10 years, and it's time to do something new. So I think it's time to unveil this new IP. We know almost 300 people have been working on this for 4 years, so they've been cooking over at ZeniMax Online for a while. And it's a really interesting time for the MMO market. It's a very saturated market, but then you just really have a couple of pillars out there. You have Elder Scrolls Online, you have Final Fantasy 14. And so I think to have someone who's already got a...
Technically, Elder Scrolls Online, by the way, is one of the most popular games, but you need to understand, the hill looks like this. There's World of Warcraft, then there's like Final Fantasy 14 at the summit, and then not even at the mountain there's, you know, well, Elder Scrolls Online. Yeah, technically it's a popular game, one of the most popular, but that doesn't mean it actually has a thriving player base. It doesn't.
Pretty strong foothold.
Same with Guild Wars. I think Guild Wars is a little bit higher, and Guild Wars is getting a new expansion, by the way, boys. It has spears, and that's awesome.
In the MMO community, step in and be like, here's a new thing, and by the way, not being Amazon would be a pretty strong move. I think this is another announcement that's been overdue, so I'm going to go ahead and say that ZeniMax Online may make an appearance here and have their new IP to show off. Now it's for who's skipping. Why are they skipping? I'm thinking of Developer Direct, and I'm thinking of 2025 targets for said Direct. We've already seen 2 years in a row now.
Blade! Yeah, this is going to be horrible. Man.
Xbox opens up the year with a Developer Direct, and they
Blade is probably going to be a dumpster fire.
Sort of set the stage for what to expect throughout the rest of the calendar year. So I'm thinking they're going to go ahead and do that again next year. So certain games that don't show up here, I think, will be at next year's Developer Direct. These are games like South of Midnight, Fable, Clockwork Revolution, and Blade. Blade in particular, though, I don't think will be at the Developer Direct. I should clarify that. Blade, I think, is a game that's going to be gone for a while. They already said on the Game Awards stage last year, let us cook. So we hear you, Dingabakaba.
Bruh, let us cook with Blade is not the right answer, okay?
You guys go cook. But these other three in South and Mid...
There's no... Oh, this is Fable, by the way. This is the diversity hired giant that's gonna tell you, all giants are not like that. And then all giants are like that because, surprise, surprise, the equity, inclusivity, and all of that shit is a lie. And yeah, Blade has no shot. And I think that's the funniest part because, again... everything needs to be a black or a woman nowadays, and Blade is black by default. So, how do they fucking ruin this? If they're still gonna find a way. It is hilarious. Look at this face of absolute unparalleled beauty, by the way.
And Clockwork Revolution, I think, are pretty clear targets for a 2025 Developer Direct, so I don't think they will be making an appearance at the show, and I think it'll set up something like Fable being the big holiday target, because that's feeling like the next big game for Xbox, where they show it off at the Developer Direct and then maybe make a dedicated Direct to that game to cap off next year's summer showcase. We also have Activision Blizzard in the family. Yes, I know, this is how big this video is getting, because we are just only getting into Activision Blizzard. We have Black Ops 6 being shown off at the Developer Direct this year.
Another generic Call of Duty blah 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 thing.
Here, I'm kind of excited for this.
Do you care? Well, if you care, you care. If you don't, you don't.
And they're going to work quietly on things. With the purple coloring of everything, I imagine they're working on another Spyro game, and so that's going to be really cool.
I don't know, the last Spyro game was good, but I don't, it's fucking Spyro, okay? Relax.
Going to be the
Diablo 4 is dead from Season 4. I am not going to cover that game, probably. Well, I'm going to cover Season 5, probably, how bad I think it is, because it's going to be bad. But yeah, Season 4 completely killed Diablo 4. There's no hype. No one gives a shit about the game anymore because it's bad. It is Diablo 4 literally did its utmost best to turn itself into Diablo 3. And it succeeded, sadly. Everything now is just again as we had in Diablo 3. Arrow go up? Well, congratulations, you got an upgrade.
Expansion for Diablo 4. But yeah, I think that this is going to be a company that'll make a lot of...
The expansion's coming. I don't even know if I feel like buying it because it's probably not going to be worth it.
Called Suerte, which is a Monster Hunter style game. No
Halo, they have ruined Halo forever, and that's pretty much it. Yeah, I mean, this is the Xbox showcase. We got Avowed, we have Doom, and, well, what did I say was the 0.5? Oh, yeah. The Outer Worlds. There we go. The Outer Worlds has potential to not be shit. But everything else is just woke and bad. Yeah, the Xbox showcase is a disaster. I mean, again, the PlayStation one's not really that much better, but at least, you know, the not big games that they have are just kind of bad or meh. It is the race to the bottom at the end of the day. It just is. Anyway, that was Maddie Plays. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.